Hey everybody, welcome to What the Flick's Christmas Countdown. Christy, Lemire, Alonso, Duralde. What's this? The Nightmare Before Christmas.
What's this? What's this? There's color everywhere. What's this? There's white things in the air. There's children throwing snowballs instead of throwing heads. They're busy building toys and absolutely no one's dead. There's frost in every window. Oh, I can't believe my eyes. And in my bones I feel the warmth that's coming from inside.
My dearest Jack.
Sally.
This year, Christmas will be ours!
I forgot to mention in the intro, of course, that this is one of many books featured in my book.
Many movies.
Many movies featured in my book, Have Yourself a Movie Little Christmas.
It's been a long day.
Yes, available now at Amazon. Thank you for being here. Okay, so Tim Burton's A Nightmare Before Christmas, actually directed by Henry Selick,
Right.
who went on to make Coraline, also Monkey Bone, but we won't hold that against him.
This is very of a piece with those kinds of movies in terms of the stop motion animation and like
Yes.
it's whimsical but also dark and twisted. And,
Definitely, yeah. This was apparently based on a poem that Burton wrote years earlier when he saw a store window display being traded out with the Halloween stuff coming down and the Christmas stuff coming up. And
makes
he thought,
sense.
what if they matched, what if they crossed worlds?
Yes.
And I did see somebody make a joke this year about how this movie is sort of the ultimate cultural appropriation story of somebody seeing
Code switching.
Yeah, seeing somebody else's stuff like, oh, I could do that better.
But really, it's about understanding.
Absolutely.
It's a metaphor for tolerance and understanding.
It's a lot of things, this movie. It's whatever you want to read into it. But it is, it's this great mix of like Rankin Bass and Edward Gorey, in a very uniquely Tim Burton way. Like this is, I think, a movie that early on sort of helped establish what the Tim Burton brand would become. This sort of mix of things, and certainly a lot of the visual cues, like the curly cliffs and
Right.
stuff, would pop up in other stuff from him later.
Yeah, a lot of it looks like Edward Scissorhands. It's a very similar kind of like darkness, but also like a loneliness and
Yeah.
a gentle kind of tenderness to it.
Melancholy.
But also twisted.
Right.
Also kind of fucked up. I love all the little creatures and like just how dark and how weird they are, and how at first it might look like it's cute, but it's really not cute at all. It's just strange and off-putting. So I like that's very Tim Burton though.
But still a little cute.
Yeah.
That's the weird thing. I would argue that this and Edward Scissorhands and Batman Returns are Tim Burton's Christmas trilogy.
That is true. There is snow in Edward Scissorhands.
Yes.
That is true.
And well, that whole ending takes place at Christmas time.
Is it also in the book?
I mentioned it in passing.
Okay,
But I devote a chunk to Nightmare and to Batman Returns.
Okay.
So this movie, this is, now we're kind of used to CG that fakes what stop motion looks like, but this is the real deal. There were something like 800 Jack Skellington heads
Wow.
to provide, all the different expressions that he was making. It was very painstakingly done. Great voice cast. You have Chris Sarandon as the speaking voice of Jack Skellington and Danny Elfman as his singing voice.
Which
and then,
blends perfectly. The kind of richness of tone.
Absolutely,
to it.
yeah. I think a lot of people are surprised to find out that it's two different people doing it because they segue into each other really well.
And the Danny Elfman music is super of that collaboration. It's very of a piece with like
Beetlejuice.
the darkness, but it's kind of bouncy, but it's kind of weird. It sounds very similar. Of
Totally.
they're working together. It makes sense.
Yes. This is it was after Batman. Yes,
It's
definitely.
1993, right? Because
Right.
Batman was 89.
Yeah. And so, but then you've got like William Hickey again from National Lampoon's Christmas
Yes.
Vacation, and Catherine O'Hara and Paul Rubens, and this is it does kind of play with these really interesting holiday archetypes because we do classify so much of Halloween as this dark and creepy, monstrous thing, but also, that's still fun and the kids like. And then Christmas is this sort of bright and buoyant and festive and,
Hopeful.
wintry and hopeful. And so the idea of one of them trying to do the other one, like, I'm trying to imagine what the sequel would be if, like, Santa took over Halloween, and I don't even know if he could remotely get that right either.
It's amazing though to think in retrospect now how iconic just that Jack Skellington face is, and how you see it so much all over everything. And I can't even imagine that Tim Burton might have envisioned that would be the case,
True.
Because it seems small and personal and weird and not necessarily like, a franchise launching or a media launching thing,
and again, this is one of those perfect examples where you know, it's so easy to go to a studio with a thing that seems like that's similar to something else, and that's how you sell it. Like that's that whole opening joke of the player. You know, oh, it's The Graduate meets the Manchurian Candidate or whatever. You know, and yeah, this is so completely unlike anything that had happened before. Disney didn't even really quite know what to do with it once it was finished. They thought it was too dark for their sort of Disney banner, so they released it as a Touchstone movie.
So it's like a genre movie.
Yeah, like, you know, and it wasn't until 2006 when they did a reissue in 3D they finally put the castle on the front of it. And,
now we'll claim you.
Yes,
now that you're
exactly.
successful.
Time has caught up to it, you know. And in fact, I think for, you know, now there's obviously a ton of merch, but originally there wasn't. I think the sort of the paltry offerings from the first year or so are very collectible now because so many people love this movie. And now, you know, you go to any of the Disney parks and it's just like NBX everywhere, you know.
My son loved this. When I went back and rewatched it in preparation for talking to you about it, and Nick had never seen it. And at first he was like, "Oh, is this a musical? Are they gonna sing?" And they do, but then he got into it. So then now when we see Jack Skellington, he's like, "Look, Mom, Jack Skellington." I'm like, "Ha! I win. You like musicals."
What's also funny is that on certain like holiday music, like Christmas music channels on like Spotify or whatever, they'll play "This Is Halloweentown." It's like, I mean, yes, but no.
We're super close. We're like in that part of the calendar.
Yeah, like just stick to what's this. You know, that's plenty Christmassy right there. But yeah, this is a movie that holds up really well and has definitely sort of, like you said, it was this odd thing that people didn't know what to do with, and it's now just become this ingrained part of the culture. And yeah, you see those Jack Skellington
everywhere
head stickers on like pickup trucks or whatever. You know, and in fact, at Disneyland in Anaheim, they do a whole overlay of the Haunted Mansion. So if you're there at Halloween or Christmas time, it is all themed to these characters, and Jack Skellington is the voice that you hear throughout. And
here's a gift shop where you can purchase some items
please
if you
enjoy
like.
the hats and the shirts and the pins by all means. So yeah, this is you know, if you like you know, if you've got one of those gothy teenagers at home who's angry at everything, this is a Christmas movie that you could sit them in front of. I don't know. Anyway, it's a classic now, whether you like it or not. But I like it.
Me too.
Thank you for watching. Thanks for being here.
Of course. Thank you.
And come back and join us. We're here. We're the little Advent calendar. Open us up every day till the 25th. Merry Christmas.
Bye.